Hi there, and welcome. Welcome to anyone who's watching live, anyone who is watching this recorded. My name is Dr. Rock. That is pronounced R-O-C-K, spelled R-A-K. I am a lifestyle medicine physician at Mora Medical, and this is our weekly live stream. You can find us at mora.com. Our live stream comes to you on YouTube, our YouTube channel, as well as Facebook. And just wonderful to have everyone watching today. I just want to remind and welcome anyone who's new. Mora is a lifestyle medicine medical group. We are a virtual telehealth practice. We're currently operating in several states, including Florida, Texas, California. You can visit us at mora.com. We help you live a happier, healthier, and lighter life by using evidence-based, research-backed approaches to help you make lifestyle changes, to help you change the food you eat, how you move your body, how you manage stress, and how you live, ultimately, how you find fulfillment in your life. And that's what I'm going to sort of talk about today. And so today I'm going to talk a little bit about how we find meaning and purpose in our life. Meaning and purpose in our life, right? And those are sort of kind of general terms, but I think in saying that, I recognize that it's different for everyone, right? What's meaningful to me and what's meaningful to someone else is certainly different. Um, I also want to say it's not just a philosophical question. The reason we bring this up, we talk about this in our groups at Mora, talk about this with our patients, is that there are tangible health benefits and benefits to our well-being from cultivating a sense of meaning and purpose. So today I kind of want to talk about why you might find meaning and purpose, or why might be important. Maybe talk a little bit about what that looks like and some of the health benefits, and then ways in which you can cultivate meaning and purpose in your life. So, and I also want to point out that this live stream is available to share. So you can share this with friends, family, and you can share the link. We're here every Wednesday, 11 a.m. Pacific time, 2 p.m. Eastern time. And yeah, why don't we, and then if you have any questions that you'd like to ask, by all means, I'll try to monitor the chat. It's just me today, but as best as I can, I will try and monitor the chat. So, okay, let's get started. Well, why would you want to find meaning and purpose? Like I already sort of pointed out, there's some health benefits. More broadly, I would say meaning and purpose, these general concepts, are the idea that there's guiding principles, guiding points in your life that serve as a compass. They later I'll tell a story, but I think about lighthouse, a lighthouse helping us make decisions, helping us shape our day-to-day decisions and then shape our future. And there was a study in the Journal of Health Psychology a few years ago in 2019, and they showed that individuals with this strong sense of life purpose, they tend to have better mental and physical health. They're more likely to engage in preventative health care. They're less likely to suffer from various health issues like heart disease, like stroke. So the two are linked, certainly, that our sense of meaning and purpose actually creates the circumstances to have better mental and then therefore better physical health. And like I said, meaning and purpose is sort of very dependent on who you are and what's important to you. But I'd like to tell a story about stonecutters. And maybe some of you have heard this story. I think it illustrates how we all have meaning in our life, and sometimes we just have to look for it. So once upon a time, there were three stonecutters, and they were hard at work cutting stones from a large rock. And a passerby stopped by to ask them what they were doing. And so the first stonecutter, he wiped some sweat from his brow and he responded, "What does it look like? I'm cutting stones. It's hard work. My hands are all cut up and calloused." And then the passerby asked the man how he feels, to which he replied, "I'm exhausted." The second stonecutter nodded. He said, "Yes, we work hard all day, every day, but it pays my wage. And with it, I can provide for my family. I have food on the table. I have a roof over our heads." And so the passerby asks how he feels, to which he replies, "I'm just tired." And then the passerby turns to the third stonecutter and asks, "What about you? How do you feel about your work?" And the third stonecutter, well, he stands up straight and has a sort of twinkle in his eye, and he smiles and he says, "I'm building a holy lighthouse that will light the way for generations to come." And the passerby asks him, "How do you feel?" To which he replies, "Inspired." I love this story because all three are doing the same work, and all three are working very hard, arguably extremely hard, and yet they look at their work in different ways. And the third stonecutter also reminds me of how he's looking at his work as a form of service. I'll get back to that later, but when I think about that, I think about Martin Luther King, who said, "Not everyone can be famous, but everyone can be great because greatness is determined by service." And, so to bring it back, like, what is the meaning and the kind of meaning that surrounds you in your life, right? These three stonecutters, one saw his work as a chore, another as a craft, maybe a career that was paying his wages, and the third as this calling. And I think it illustrates how the same thing can have different meanings and how our perspective, our larger perspective of our purpose, can transform our experience of life. All right. And I just want to remind people we are Mora Medical and we are a lifestyle medicine telehealth. We conduct group visits. We conduct one-on-one visits. We have a clinical team that's all certified in plant-based eating and lifestyle medicine. And we help you take control of your health by making changes to your lifestyle habits. So if you want to join us as a patient, we do accept insurance. And like I said, we're in multiple states at this point, California, New York, and Texas and Florida, among others, and adding more as time goes on. Please visit us at mora.com. I will also point out that we are giving our patients a Fitbit, if you elect to take one from us, where we can monitor all sorts of health data and help you live a healthier life by taking control of your sleep, taking control of your movement, and using that data in a really profound way to help you. All right, so today I'm talking about finding meaning and purpose in your life. And one thing I want to just kind of point out again is that there's really health benefits to having a kind of deeper sense of purpose in your life. There was a study in the Lancet in 2014 that having a sense of purpose reduces the risk of dying of all causes. And this was true across age groups, meaning it's never too old to start seeking meaning in your life. There was another study in JAMA Psychiatry in 2020 that found a high sense of purpose in life, also associated with lower risk of cardiovascular events and all-cause mortality. So you're less likely to die of a heart attack, less likely to die really of any cause if you cultivate a sense of meaning in your life. And so how might we do that? How might we cultivate more sense of meaning and purpose in our life, right? What are some of the strategies we can use? Well, I like to reflect on what kind of I personally do, and then sort of suggest some others. And so I would say that the first step is sort of getting curious about your experience, getting curious about your day-to-day experience. I like to remind myself that there is meaning all around me, all through my life, and I just have to look for it. So self-reflection and introspection, sort of regularly asking myself, what is it I'm experiencing? So one way I do this, I take my kids to school in the morning. I take my kids to school in the morning, and some of the days I pick them up in the afternoon. And so we have some questions that we use in the car to kind of set our day up and also reflect on our day, right? To find kind of more meaning in our lives. And in the morning, one of the questions we ask is, what's something I'm excited about for today, right? So it asks me and all of us to look at the day ahead and really like, what am I going to be doing today? What are all the things I'm going to be experiencing today? And how might I bring some excitement to that? And then we also ask and go around and share, what's one thing I'm grateful for from the last 24 hours? And I always make the point, it should be something specific, right? It should be something that happened to you. So I tell my kids, for example, don't just say your brother, but say, what is it that you did with your brother, or you noticed that your brother did in the last day? Oh, my brother made breakfast for everyone this morning. He toasted the bagels. And so in that way, it's almost like I'm teaching myself and teaching them to develop this gratitude lens. I tell them, as you go through the day, then you might start to notice more examples of what you might be grateful for. And then why do I mention gratitude? Because the things we're grateful for, the things we appreciate, those are really meaningful things to us in our life. And it can be so busy. We can be so busy and overwhelmed that we stop, forget to stop. And as they say, forget to stop and smell the flowers or the roses, that we really just rush through life. And so, these reflections, whether you do them yourself, perhaps doing them in a journal, perhaps doing them at the dinner table, they help us pause. They help us pause and reflect on kind of what is more meaningful for us. Okay, and then in the afternoon when I'm picking them up, we do a couple more questions, and these questions are the kind of the ones that we decided on, but there's so many options, right? The ones we use are, what's something you did today, what's something you accomplished today that you're proud of, and what's the other one? What's something you learned today? So what's something you accomplished today that you're proud of? And it really then gets us thinking, like, what are all the things I did today? How did I serve today? There's that word again, service. Like, did I help a friend at school? Did I help someone at home? Did I help someone in the neighborhood? Asking that question really gets us in that way thinking about what things happened today that I did that were meaningful to me. The other question, what did I learn today? I always say, like, it doesn't have to be something you learned. Like for my kids, I say it doesn't have to be something you learned in the classroom. It can be something you learned about a friend. It can be something you learned about yourself. It can be something you learned just being outside and observing. So, again, it's an opportunity to, what are the things I did today? Like, what happened today? But some of the other questions I like are, what's something that made you laugh today? What was something that was really hard for you today? What's something that touched your heart today? And in asking those questions, you can kind of run through your day like a movie in reverse and look at all the scenes of this kind of wonderful, colorful day and how it unfolded. And then ask yourself, where can I pick out all those wonderful moments of meaning? Yeah. So we talked a lot about meaning. I also want to talk about purpose. Purpose is sort of this idea that, what is my bigger sense of purpose in life? And in doing that, I think I go back to sort of self-reflection and introspection, sort of regularly asking yourself, what do I value most? What is most important to me? What inspires me? You can get very grandiose and ask yourself things like, what do I want my legacy to be? But it doesn't have to be that, profound either. It's just asking yourself what you love, what really lights you up. And that could be playing an instrument, or being a caregiver, or being a good friend, or a hobby that you have. There's any number of ways you can answer that question for yourself. And then once you sort of have that sense, really making sure that you spend time on those things that you value. So I say, like, setting goals, finding what you love, but then setting time aside to make sure that you make that a part of your life. Having that time, spending that time, is what gives you that sense of direction and accomplishment. Yeah. So, and I'm curious if anyone who's watching, who's in the chat, wants to share maybe how they find meaning or purpose in their life, if they or what brings them meaning and purpose, what brings you meaning and purpose in your life. Please, by all means, share with us. I also want you to feel free to ask any kind of lifestyle related questions if you have any. Happy to answer. Yeah, so there are, I would say, ways in which we can also live, and this gets back to sort of living in the present moment, right? I can get caught up with this idea of meaning and purpose and sort of like, who do I want to be? You can also get caught up, many of us do get caught up, like, in the past, like, who am I? Who was I? Where have I come from? Like, who is this person that I am now? But in doing that, there's a lot of sort of storylines you can get caught up in your head about the past. And so just sort of being in the present moment, I think is kind of key to that. Okay. I just want to remind folks, we are Mora Medical. We are a lifestyle medicine medical group, and you can visit us at mora.com. Today, I've been talking about kind of cultivating and finding meaning and purpose in your life. The last thing I want to emphasize, I kind of said this earlier, is that, one really profound way to cultivate meaning in your life is through service, through helping others, and this feeling of contributing to the greater good. That provides a profound sense of purpose and fulfillment. That's borne out in research studies. And so, that could be volunteering, and asking yourself, is there a need and an area? There's so many needs, first of all, but is there an area in my neighborhood, in my community, in something I'm interested in, where I have the opportunity to provide that service? And so that's another way to sort of cultivate more meaning and purpose in your life. Yeah, so I hope, in watching this today, that it sort of inspires you to spend some time to ask yourself kind of, what is meaningful, what is purposeful in my life. As I've mentioned, there's so many positive health effects, and this is a personal journey, right? There's no one size fits all answer. There's no right or wrong answer of what's going to be meaningful for you. I also want to tell you, this is what we do at Mora Medical. When patients first come to us, first time I'm seeing a patient, we root the care actually in asking this question: what's meaningful, what's important to you in this life, right? Because that is going to be the foundation, the scaffolding to make all sorts of glorious and wonderful changes that are going to lead to that fulfillment and allow you to reap the benefits of cultivating that sense of meaning in your life. Yeah, and I just want to remind folks we are here every Wednesday at this time, 11 a.m. Pacific, and what is that, 2 p.m. Eastern time. And yeah, often I will have a guest or an extra clinician from Mora on with me to have a conversation, but today there was a lot of clinical work, which is good. So we are a relatively new company. So if you are a patient of ours watching this, thank you. We appreciate you, and we're seeing such wonderful results already. Now, over the last several months, we're seeing people come off their insulin. We're seeing people lose good amounts of weight and keep it off. And the way you're doing that is not through deprivation or punishment. It's about learning how to make sustainable changes that feel good for you, and doing it with the guidance of a lifestyle medicine trained, certified clinician who's helping you not just figure out how to make changes in your life, but what are the right changes to make, the ones that are going to lead to disease reversal, the ones that are going to lead to boosts in your energy and improvement in your longevity. Everybody thinks about that, thinks about how they want to live longer, but they don't just want to live longer, that they want to have quality years of life added to their life. So that's really what the changes that we focus on. And again, you can find us at Mora.com, Mora.com. Super excited to work with you or anyone you know. Please share this stream, share our website, and I will see you here back next week. All right. Have a great day, everyone. Have a great, wonderful rest of your week. All right. Bye-bye.